Welcome back to the Righteous Rock Show. We play the only rock. That's right. Well, welcome again, Mr. Bill Menchen, to the Righteous Rock Show.
Houston, we have liftoff. Thanks for having me back.
You're welcome. You're welcome. What have you been working on since we last spoke?
Oh, loads of stuff. Well, way back a long time ago, I think it was back in 2011, was working on a Redeemer album, just revisiting some old material at the request of our management, Janice Sweet, and had Robert Sweet and my cousin Bruce Menchen in on it. Came out great. We put that out. Unfortunately, some of our timing was a little bit off. That was circumstances beyond our control. I know that sounds cliche, but it really was. And about that time, the new Menchen album, In the Light, came down the pipe, and so they kind of collided together, and people bought them and listened to them anyways. We had fun with that. But most recently, just released this week. It's downloadable right now. It's a new Seventh Power album, group Seventh Power, album called Eternal Power. It's on iTunes and Amazon right now. Yeah, he's got them all there. It's a walking billboard. Yeah. And the CDs are supposed to arrive in about another 4 or 5 days, I think, and we're pretty excited about that. So far, the reception of the people that downloaded is people are pretty stoked and up about it. It's going over good.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to go over there a couple weeks ago and hear it, and it's unbelievable. Well, so is the Redeemer One Way and the Menchen In the Light. Both are really good as well. I think tops in that of those bands.
Well, thanks, and we're pretty satisfied with them. The Seventh Power has an interesting that Eternal Power album. It's something that started about 3 years ago. Robert Sweet was at my house one day. We're just kind of hanging out, and he says, why don't you make me a song? Let's make a song. Let's try an experiment. Make the heaviest song you can think of. And I come up with something the next day, and he came back by and listened. He goes, wow, that's really good. I'm going to throw some drums down to it. Well, by the time he came back to do the drums a few days later, I had another song to go with it. And I said, well, maybe, are you sure this other one's not better? And he says, no, let's do the first one, but maybe I'll track them both. And well, I got on a roll. Sometimes in your songwriting, you get into a groove and a vein, and it just starts rolling, and you can't stop. Well, over the next 6 or 7 days, I wrote a whole album's worth of material, and he says, what do you want to do with this? I said, I don't know. You were asking for it. You started it, It's his fault. He started it. And so he tracked them all, and we weren't sure what to do with the album. And we've been maybe looking for various different singers and people, offering it to people. For, like I said, almost 3 years. And about a month or so ago, I was just looking around going, it's a shame we can't do anything with that. I never thought that I could sing to it. I just thought, it really wasn't meant for me. I think it was meant for something else. But after close to 3 years, I kind of had a change of heart over it. I thought, well, let me try one. So I tried one, and I thought, well, that's pretty good. It was kind of tough, a little bit different vocal melodies and things that I'm used to doing. It's a very dark, heavy, progressive album, but it's got very up and very positive sounding lyrics, so it's kind of odd in that sense. You usually don't hear metal this heavy with these kinds of cheery lyrics, and then to even throw another curveball in it. Most of the leads are really, really super bluesy sounding, so it's kind of a strange, but I realized then, this is a Seventh Power album, and once I got on a roll, just like when I wrote all the guitar parts, and Robert came in and once he started rolling, he just blew through the whole album on drums, and I did the same thing on vocals, and here we have a new album. We're really excited. Got a new private independent record label called Menchen Records, and this is going to be the first release on it. We're really excited about it. And
you heard it here first, too.
Yeah, you are hearing it here first. It's been a well-kept secret until now. Thought we'd let the cat out of the bag here on the Righteous Rock Show.
Awesome. Well, we can't wait to get that album. Like I said, it's like a worship metal album, and I don't know how that really goes together, but it does.
Most of the lyrics are based on scripture, or what I call sliced and diced sections. I don't like to just throw it in there real cheesy. I try to make it artistic, but I have to keep the integrity of what's written there. And the lyric sheets in the album even have little scripture references after them. So they're trying to get people into the Word. When I sat down and write the lyrics on this album, I thought, what's the most profound thing I can say to anybody? What if this is the last album I make before I die? What is my statement here? I thought, I don't know how well I relate to people. I kind of lived an unusual life that probably most people can't relate to, and I thought, if I can get people into the Word, that'll be the most profound thing that I could do. And I think I did a fairly artistic way of kind of rearranging some popular sections of Scripture, and probably a few that people don't know about. And I put the references in the lyrics there, so people don't have to guess where they're coming from, and they can go look them up. And that's what I'm hoping. If people maybe haven't opened up their book for a long time, they'll open it up and look at my lyrics. And
for sure,
I hope they really get, even if they don't like my lyrics, maybe at least they'll get looking at something that's worthwhile.
Yeah, get them into the Word for sure. What was that one tune that I heard? I forget the name of it. It's a very unusual pronunciation.
Tetelestai, which is actually it's a Greek word that best translated into English as paid in full. That's one of the last things that Christ said on the cross before he died, before he gave up his spirit. The last thing he said was Tetelestai. So it's finished right there. I've recently come in contact with who's an immediate family member now, a Greek pastor from Greece who's living in London, England right now. Really cool guy. His name is Kikos Papadopoulos. So obviously he's not from Mexico with a name like that, I guess you wouldn't say. And, I asked him about that, and I had the idea to call the song Tetelestai. And I asked him how to pronounce that, and I was cringing because I knew he was going to say that we had it wrong. And we do. It's the proper pronunciation is Tetelestai. They don't really have the same, the Greek language has its own characters. They don't use the Roman alphabet like we do. And so when they write it in English as close as they can, it's really totally wrong. And something that just happened, I'm going to spring this on you right here, something that just happened this week, I had the idea to have the whole song done in Greek. I asked him if he would translate it for me. The next day he sent me back all the lyrics translated in Greek, and pretty soon I'm going to start working on that, and we're going to have the whole song in Greek, and it'll be downloaded on the internet. Obviously it missed the first pressing of this album. I don't know if we'll have it on a disc at some time, but it will be downloadable from iTunes and Amazon, and that'll be a kind of a fun thing. But he told me not to start recording it yet. He had to tell me that because he knows I move quick, and when I get on something, I really roll up my sleeves and get it done. He says, "Don't do it yet. We got to talk on the phone about this because you don't know how to say these words right." So I want to do it right, and I think it'll be pretty cool, and it'll certainly sound strange. It'll be, I don't know how many Greek heavy metal songs there are in the world, but
I don't know of any.
yeah, this is going to be one. So that's not a little sidebar. We're kind of excited about that. It'll be a very interesting project.
That is cool, man. So that's two exclusive news things coming out of the Menchen camp. That sounds awesome.